Alright guys, what's up? It's your boy KIDSTATIIC. I'm back for another reaction video. Today we're going to be reacting to Solo Leveling Season 2 Episode 12, Jinwoo versus Baru. Now in the manga, this is a super exciting fight, and I'm super excited to see it in the anime. It just sucks that we saw it at the last minute, but next season, it's going to be on, dude. So this was a real good fight in the manga. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. But we're going to react to this. Make sure you definitely drop in the comments how you guys feel about Solo Leveling. It's definitely one of my favorite animes out. It definitely is.
Previously, the Korean team kept fighting off the ants heading back to their nest. Yunho asked Choi to crank up his attack power, but Choi warned that if he did, they'd probably run out of oxygen in that place. And all the Korean hunters could do was rely on Choi's fire attacks to get out of this mess. As Choi started to struggle and the ants pressed closer, in a flash, a shadow warrior emerged, stopping the attacking ants in their tracks. Yunho was shocked and wondered who this Black Knight was. He felt like he'd seen it before. The shadow then sent a...
I remember when this happened too. I already knew. The minute I seen it, I knew. I'm like, he's gonna do it. Jinwoo's gonna do it. Bro, the things he can do, like with these shadow creatures, it's so crazy.
Signal back to Jinwoo, who was in the city. Realizing how critical the situation was, Jinwoo immediately activated his skill, Return. Meanwhile, a cameraman freaked out as two huge ants charged straight for him. Fear filled his face as he resigned himself to his fate. Suddenly, both ants were pierced by a sword, which was Igris's sword. Meanwhile, back at the broadcasting station in Korea, the crew shut down the live broadcast after seeing the desperate condition of the S-rank hunters who were on the brink of death. One of the crew members told the broadcasting chief that they were getting flooded with complaints from viewers.
I do find it crazy that sometimes they'll send people in as like part of like the news channel to broadcast everything. So they're pretty much like putting their entire life on the line to capture everything. Like that's literally a suicide job. It must pay well, at least, right? I mean, it has to.
The chief felt like the broadcast couldn't go on, but just as he was about to give the order to shut things down, a crew member reported a mysterious figure suddenly showing up at the raid site. The chief stared at the monitor in disbelief and ordered the broadcast to continue no matter what. Deep down, he knew Korea's fate was now in the hands of this hunter. Meanwhile, Jinwoo had arrived at Jeju Island, right in the middle of the ant monster nest. Calm but determined, Jinwoo stood at the front lines with...
And bro always has to make the most like dramatic entrance. I do like that though, but it's like, bruh, like sometimes like just get there a little earlier. Like, come on.
All his shadow warriors, facing down the hundreds of ants ready to strike. Jinwoo called for Iron, and without hesitation, Iron activated his taunting cry skill, provoking all the ants in the nest. Jinwoo smiled, impressed by Iron's growing smarts. Then, he readied himself for battle, gripping the Demon King's dagger. In the blink of an eye, Jinwoo moved like lightning, slashing and cutting down several ant monsters in one deadly sweep. From behind, Tusk activated a magic barrier to protect the wounded hunters. Ma Dongwook watched in confusion, not sure what was happening. Yunho explained that with Jinwoo's presence, they didn't need to worry anymore. Meanwhile, Jinwoo was moving non-stop, slashing ants at a speed too fast to follow. Beside him, Igris showcased his deadly swordsmanship, taking down enemies with incredible precision. Iron went wild, tearing through every ant that dared to come near, while Tank unleashed brutal attacks, easily swallowing up several ants. In the middle of the fierce battle, Jinwoo realized they needed to end this fast. Standing among the scattered ant corpses, he calmly said one word, "Arise." In seconds, the dead ant bodies were taken over and transformed into new shadow warriors with a dark...
I don't know what's more OP than that. The fact that you could just resurrect any dead army that you kill. Arise. And it's over.
menacing aura.
Insta-kill.
The cameraman watching the scene felt a chill run down his spine, unable to believe what he was seeing. Moments later, the cameraman got a direct order from the broadcasting center to air the footage immediately, as the whole country was watching the event live. On the battlefield, the shadow ants launched an attack, mercilessly slaughtering the other ants without hesitation. As the battle raged on, Jinwoo approached the injured hunters and handed out potions to heal them. The hunters were bewildered, shocked to see their wounds disappear as if what had just happened was beyond their understanding. Jinwoo then checked on Hunter Cha's condition, while Ma Dongwook looked worried because Cha was still unconscious. Jinwoo stated that Cha was in critical condition, and his current power wasn't enough to heal him. With the ant nest temporarily cleared, Jinwoo ordered the hunters to leave before more ants swarmed in. Suddenly, Jinwoo felt a terrifying aura from a new monster ant entering the nest. The monster approached, mumbling something about searching for a king. Yunho was shocked to see the Ant King and realized that Ruji might be dead. Jinwoo stood up and told Ma Dongwook to take care of Hunter Cha while he faced the Ant King. The Ant King walked up to Jinwoo and asked if he was the king of humans. Jinwoo responded sarcastically, asking if now even insects could talk to him. Jinwoo and the Ant King stood facing each other, each radiating an intimidating aura. Then, the Ant King provoked Jinwoo by releasing an even more intense aura. Jinwoo grinned and said, "Now you seem more like a bug." Meanwhile, the Korean television media was reporting what came in from the broadcasting center. The report confirmed that Hunter Min Byung-gyu was dead, and the fate of the other hunters in the ant nest was still unknown. But then, the situation took a turn when a hunter appeared on the scene and changed everything, allowing the raid broadcast to continue. The public was shocked to see Hunter Sung Jinwoo on Jeju Island, facing off against the Ant King. On the other side, Matsumoto, the chairman of the Japanese Hunter Association, was furious about the ants killing Go-Teruji. Reiji reported that the Ant King had reappeared in the nest. Matsumoto angrily asked if this meant that the Korean hunter was still alive. Reiji confirmed it, saying that now someone with magical power equivalent to the Ant King had appeared. Matsumoto cursed the situation and ordered his assistant to turn on the raid broadcast in Korea immediately. Meanwhile, in Jinwoo's mother's apartment, she called Jina to help turn on the TV. She was worried and told Jina that her brother had just stepped out. Jina started to feel suspicious and rushed to her brother's room. When she opened her phone, her face went pale in shock. Her brother was already on Jeju Island. Even Mr. Go Gunhee was excited to see Hunter Sung Jinwoo on the screen, saving hunters during the raid on Jeju Island. Back in the middle of the battle, after releasing an intense aura, the Ant King suddenly
When you think about it, Jinwoo is like a cooler Sasuke.
struck Jinwoo with a heavy punch. The blow destroyed the ground beneath him, creating a huge explosion. The hunters, feeling the impact, began to worry, thinking Jinwoo had been severely injured by such a powerful attack. The Ant King sneered, calling Jinwoo weak and saying he wasn't the true king. However, as the smoke slowly cleared, Jinwoo stood tall, completely unscathed. The hunters were stunned. They couldn't believe Jinwoo had survived that brutal attack without a scratch.
Well, literally,
Jinwoo
all he does is show off, bro. He's literally just showing off right now. They're like, what the fuck?
immediately counterattacked. Using his Dominator's touch skill, he pulled the Ant King toward him. In a flash, Jinwoo slammed his fist into the Ant King's face, sending the creature flying into a cave wall. The hunters couldn't believe their eyes. They wondered how a mage like Jinwoo could possess such physical strength. Even though the Ant King was thrown back, he quickly got up and attacked again. Ant King struck with both arms, but Jinwoo calmly blocked using his left arm. The impact shattered the ground beneath them. Jinwoo retaliated instantly but was hit at the same time. They hit each other on the head, creating a huge energy wave around them. Even the cameraman almost fainted from the energy wave. The break on his head armor got Ant King's attention, and he was curious about this human. But Jinwoo didn't give him a chance to think and hit him with another powerful punch. Ant King hit back with his own fist. The two punches collided with a tremendous crash, creating a massive energy wave that sent them flying in opposite directions. Ant King was surprised. He couldn't believe his protective armor had cracked from Jinwoo's blow. But before the Ant King could think any further, Jinwoo quickly got close and hit him hard in the stomach. Ant King immediately went on the offensive, firing a mouth attack that scratched Jinwoo's cheek. Jinwoo immediately backed off to keep his distance, but then suddenly fell to his knees, realizing he'd been poisoned. Ant King said it was a paralyzing poison he got from a poisonous snail, and he'd made it more deadly by using his magic. He was sure the human in front of him would be dead by now. The scene shifts to the Japanese team in the ruins of Jeju Island. Hoshino, trembling, admitted Ant King was unbeatable, even for Go Teruji. Frustrated, Kane scoffs at Hoshino's weakness and decides it's best to leave, worried they'll run into more trouble if they stay any longer. As a helicopter approached to evacuate them, the scene returned to the ant nest, where Ant King went up to Jinwoo, who was paralyzed from the poison, and delivered a final blow.
To be honest, I can't wait until we get this fight in the anime. It's gonna be so sick, man. It's gonna be so sick. You know, the animation is gonna be up to par, and we're gonna get some real good graphics. I can't wait.
To finish him off. But in an instant, Jinwoo caught Ant King's attack with his hand, and countered with a crushing punch that sent the giant creature flying into the wall. A system notification popped up. Poison cure has been completed. That meant the poison in Jinwoo's body had been totally neutralized. He could see that Ant King seemed agitated and cornered by the situation. Despite the advantage, Jinwoo's thoughts turned to Hunter Cha's worsening condition. He knows he needs to finish this fight quickly before it's too late. With lightning speed, Jinwoo darts toward the Ant King and delivers an aerial kick. The ground shatters under the impact, but the Ant King narrowly dodges by jumping into the air. The Ant King mutters to himself that his poison has no effect and that physical strength is useless against this human. He realizes that speed is the only way he can win. The Ant King boosts all of his stats into agility. His body becomes leaner, and deadly claws extend from his hands, glowing with a menacing aura. Jinwoo calmly draws his Demon King dagger. They stare each other down, preparing for the next round. The Ant King strikes first, moving at an incredible speed, but Jinwoo deftly dodges and counters with a strike from his dagger. However, the Ant King blocks the attack with his claws, and the Ant King knocks Jinwoo into a wall, but Jinwoo quickly uses the wall to propel himself back into the fight. They continue exchanging strikes so fast that it's almost impossible to keep up. The Ant King is shocked to realize that Jinwoo not only matches his speed, but is even faster than him. Meanwhile, Jinwoo thinks to himself that this ant might be on par with the Demon Monarch, or maybe even stronger. Despite that, he's confident that his dagger will only grow stronger after defeating this foe. Jinwoo delivers a flurry of slashes, breaking through the Ant King's armor and claws. Seeing an opportunity, Jinwoo decides to end the fight. Activating his Vital Strike skill, he attacks all the Ant King's vital areas with pinpoint precision. A system notification popped up. Vital Strike skill has been upgraded to Mutilate level Max. Jinwoo is surprised by the upgrade in the middle of the battle, but it only strengthens his resolve to finish this quickly. The Ant King attempts to flee, but Jinwoo isn't going to let him get away. He pursues the Ant King at lightning speed, activating the Mutilate skill. A barrage of slashes rains down on the Ant King's body from all directions, cutting off one of his arms. The Ant King tries to retaliate with his claws, but Jinwoo expertly dodges and maintains control of the fight. The Ant King, now cornered, wonders if he'll actually lose to a human. In his mind, there's still one way to turn the tide. He quickly releases a wave of magic energy to summon his ant army. In the blink of an eye, thousands of soldier ants fill the battlefield. The Ant King challenges Jinwoo with this move, as if asking what he'll do now. But Jinwoo just smiles and says one word: "Go forth." Instantly, Jinwoo's shadow expands, and one by one, his shadow minions appear behind him, ready to face the incoming army of ants. The Ant King is taken aback by this sight. Without a word, the two forces charge at each other. Igris, wielding his sword, slices through the ants in front of him.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, him summoning a clone army is damn near equivalent to Naruto summoning 1,000 clones. 1,000 clones, and he just keeps them in the pocket dimension. Like, he can say arise, and then just, dude, watching this in the anime is gonna be so sick. Like, I'm super excited. It just sucks we gotta wait till next season. They left us with that crazy ass cliffhanger, man.
While the High Orc generals tear into them with brutal efficiency, Jinwoo orders Tusk to eliminate all the ants with his fire magic. Before Tusk can act, Jinwoo sternly warns him to only target the ants. If any humans are hurt by his attacks, Jinwoo won't summon him again. TATIIC understands the command and activates his Hymn of Giant skill, transforming into a massive giant. With his enlarged body, TATIIC activates the Hymn of Fire Dragon. In an instant, he unleashes a huge, devastating blast of fire aimed directly at the ant colony. The attack is so powerful it even pierces through the volcanic mountain where the ants have made their nest. The hunters couldn't believe their eyes. They think Jinwoo looks like a demon king descending to Earth. The fire attack consumes the entire ant army, leaving only the Ant King behind. Frustration fills the Ant King. Since his birth, he has always believed he was destined to be the strongest, an endlessly evolving predator. He's devoured everything in his path, standing at the top of the food chain, and sees himself as a true monarch. But his view changes when Jinwoo steps through the smoke. Fear starts to grip him. In a panic, he decides his only option is to flee. Activating healing magic to restore his condition, he takes off into the air, attempting to escape. But Jinwoo isn't having it. He activates his Dominator's touch skill and slams the Ant King hard into the ground. Standing before him, Jinwoo prepares to deliver judgment. The Ant King, powerless, still tries to crawl away, but Jinwoo has already decided how this ends. He jumps into the air, activates Mutilate, and unleashes a series of strikes that rain down on the Ant King's body, ending his life in an instant. A system notification popped up.
Bro tried to cop a plea. He was like, hell nah, bro. Hell nah. Come here, get these hands.
You defeated the enemy. You leveled up.
It's like when you got an Xbox, you defeat the main boss and you get an achievement.
After the fight was over, Yunho approached Jinwoo and explained that Hunter Cha's condition was critical. Jinwoo quickly checked and realized he had already wasted too much time. He needed to find a hunter healer immediately. Shadow Exchange was still on cooldown, and while he could get to the city quickly by riding Kaisel, there was a real risk that Hunter Cha wouldn't survive long enough. Suddenly, something clicked in Jinwoo's mind. He turned to the cameraman and asked him to shut off the camera for a moment. At first, the cameraman refused. It was a live broadcast after all, but something in Jinwoo's tone made him hesitate. Jinwoo then ordered his shadow warriors to search for Hunter Min Byung-yu's body. It didn't take long. One of the high orc shadow generals returned, carrying the lifeless form of Min Byung-yu. Jinwoo scanned the body, grimacing when he noticed that the Ant King had likely devoured the head. Doubt crept in. Will this even work? But just then, a notification popped up. Shadow extraction can be used on this target. Yunho, clearly confused, asked Jinwoo what he was doing with Byung-yu's body. Jinwoo ignored him, stepping closer to the corpse. He uttered a single word: arise. A dark shadow began to creep out of Min Byung-yu's body, but then a notification interrupted. You failed to extract the shadow. Jinwoo frowned and tried again, but the result was the same. It didn't make sense. With his summoning skill at this level, it should have worked easily. Yet it felt as if Min Byung-yu's spirit was resisting, refusing to be summoned. Jinwoo hesitated for a moment. He knew this looked demonic, like something evil trying to summon the dead, but someone's life was on the line. He had to save Hunter Cha. Gritting his teeth, he tried once more. Arise. This time, the corpse reacted. A dense, black shadow enveloped Min Byung-yu's body. Yunho shouted angrily, demanding an explanation for what Jinwoo was doing to Byung-yu's remains. But his anger quickly turned into shock as Byung-yu's body began to rise. Min Byung-yu had become a shadow warrior. The other hunters froze in place, stunned and a little terrified by the sheer power that defied all logic. Without any orders, Shadow Min Byung-yu began moving toward Hunter Cha. Calmly, he activated his healing magic, saving her life just as she teetered on the edge of death. Yunho watched the scene unfold with pure disbelief. Jinwoo, noticing Yunho's expression, explained that he could sense a person's nature when they were alive. For Byung-yu, his healer instincts remained so strong that he acted on his own, without commands. The cameraman stood in shock, unable to process what he'd just witnessed. He now understood why Jinwoo had asked him to turn the camera off. A power like this, raising the dead, couldn't be broadcasted to the entire world. Yunho placed a hand on Jinwoo's shoulder, his voice calm yet firm.
Yeah, bro, I don't want to hear nothing more about Naruto this, Naruto that. I got my boy Jinwoo all day, soloing anybody. I don't care.
He admitted that Jinwoo would do incredible things in the future. He believed Byungyu's power would help them in the battles ahead, but he asked Jinwoo not to force Byungyu into unnecessary fights. Jinwoo brushed Yunho's hand off, reminding him that this was the second time Yunho had touched his shoulder. But then, after a brief pause, a small smile crept onto his face. This time, Jinwoo felt that Yunho's gesture wasn't about authority or orders. It was a sincere request. Walking towards Shadow Byungyu, Jinwoo agreed with Yunho. Cancel extraction. Slowly, Shadow Min Byungyu began to fade, his form dissolving back into the afterlife. Before disappearing completely, he cast a final smile toward Yunho. Yunho stood still, returning the smile with deep respect. It was hard, but he knew this was the right decision. The silence that followed was heavy, leaving the hunters with mixed emotions as they watched one of their heroes leave for the final time.
That's actually a real nice moment, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that he can do that, it's like, what's the expiration time for like resurrecting a soul?
Meanwhile, the helicopter had arrived at Jeju Island, ready to pick up the hunters. Through the heavy rain, the hunters walked toward the helicopter, sadness clearly etched on their faces. Once everyone got in, Jinwoo turned to Yunho, telling him to leave first. There was still something he needed to take care of. From a distance, the remaining swarm of ant monsters could be seen flying over Jeju Island. Jinwoo summoned Kaisel and quickly hopped onto the dragon's back. He decided to pave the way and wipe out the remaining monsters scattered around. Kaisel spread his wings, soaring into the sky with Jinwoo. As they flew, Jinwoo took out every remaining ant monster, making sure the hunters could leave the island safely. Meanwhile, aboard the Japanese warship where the Japanese team had gathered, Hoshino was still visibly shaken, and the other Japanese hunters approached him, eager to know what had happened. Hoshino, trembling, muttered that the monster he saw was no ordinary enemy. Even Go Teruji couldn't stand a chance against it. There wasn't a single hunter who could defeat a monster like that. Sugimoto stepped in to calm Hoshino, telling him that the raid on Jeju Island was over. Hoshino's eyes widened in disbelief. It sounded impossible. Sugimoto then recalled Ruji's words about a powerful hunter from Korea. He began to wonder if Sung Jinwoo was the one who had defeated that monster. Suddenly, a crew member reported that a swarm of ants had been detected near the ship, and the hunters were immediately ordered to prepare for battle. Meanwhile, Jinwoo returned to the ant nest to clean up the remaining monsters. His shadow mages cast fire magic, instantly burning the unhatched ant eggs inside the nest. Jinwoo felt both surprised and lucky. Even by destroying unhatched eggs, he was still earning extra experience points. Opening his inventory system, he retrieved the demon.
I find it crazy how for everybody it's life or death, but for him it's literally solo leveling. That is crazy, bro. Imagine living in a world where for everybody else it's normal, like you can die, and then for you, you have all these abilities that just defy everything. That is so crazy. Like, and of course there there are people like hunters that are as strong as him, but none of them are on even close to being on par with him. But there are some that stand above. But so OP.
Demon King Longsword, an incredible weapon he had acquired from the Demon King. With the sword in hand, Jinwoo gave it a try. His first swing unleashed a crackling bolt of lightning that shook the ground. Amazed by the sword's power, he thought it would be a waste to just leave it sitting in his inventory. Jinwoo decided to use the sword to clear out the remaining ant eggs in the nest. The scene then jumped to the United States, where Michael Corner and David Brennan, the director of the American Hunter Bureau, were watching a replay of the Jeju Island raid. Michael commented on how extraordinary it was for a hunter to control hundreds of creatures, though it was a shame he came from such a small country like Korea. David stared at the screen intently before sharply asking Michael what else he knew about this hunter. Michael handed him a file, explaining that the fire incident involving Sung Il-hwan was connected to Jinwoo. Sung Il-hwan had been found alive in an A-rank dungeon. Although he claimed to be a Korean hunter, there were doubts about whether he was human or a monster. Further investigation revealed that Jinwoo was his son. David looked stunned. He realized this was a rare opportunity to recruit someone like him, even if it risked straining relations between the US and Korea, especially after America had successfully recruited Dongsu. Still, a hunter like Jinwoo was worth fighting for, no matter the cost. David then asked Michael if he was capable of handling the task. That concludes this episode. Thank you for watching.
Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, man. Appreciate you guys. How did you guys feel about it? Are you guys excited for the next episode? Honestly, for me, just to give my opinion real quick, I really enjoyed it. And I really wish that they didn't leave off on a cliffhanger on the last episode. I mean, they could have at least gave us something. But, I mean, they're saving it for the next season, so who knows what they have in store. We could get 3 straight episodes of some fire. But, you know, it's going to be fire off rip. So, and the animation is going to be good, production. For now, we just got to wait, man. And that's the only shitty part. But Solo Leveling is fire right now. It's peak. There's a lot of good animes out right now, so this is the perfect time to be an anime fan, man. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, drop your opinion in the comments. I'm out. Peace.